This is how I smoothed the Cybertruck. You might be wondering why the long look on my face. Well, one, I spent 2.5 hours recording this video, only for the audio to not be added. Then I re-recorded it, only to have paused the OBS recording at the start, and I just kept speaking, kept talking. Only for me to realize 30 seconds ago that I now have to re-record the whole thing again. That was me speaking for 25 minutes. I am going to calmly and with a lot of composure redo the video and explain exactly how I did it over again. I hope you enjoy. The first thing I had to do as a designer is essentially look for inspiration. This was particularly difficult because there's not many people that have taken video recordings of their Tesla Cybertruck display, except for one man, one savior, one saint, and that is Marques Brownlee. And of course that allowed me to understand what kind of visuals and what kind of UI I am playing with, what is their design system. From the design system, it was pretty easy, honestly. I had a bunch of component inspiration here that can help me along my journey to essentially add a feature to Tesla that no one asked for, except for me, because that really pisses me off that it's really sharp. I think it's the biggest safety hazard. Tesla might have the biggest safety rating on the planet, but for pedestrians who just want to walk past a stationary car and I walk past it and nick it, it will cut open my insides. I have fear to walk past that vehicle. It's like when you have like a knife at the edge of your table and then you walk past it. That's exactly like what I'm dealing with here. This is why this feature needs to exist. So, anyhow, once I found the inspiration, I had to figure out, well, what would it look like to actually edit the sharpness of the vehicle? The next step of the journey was to effectively curve it. And here is an example of the control I used. As you can see, I took inspiration from the brightness or the fog light icon because, again, they're both numbers that go from 0 to 100, and it's something you can drag and slide to edit. So that was just the perfect thing to reuse. So I went ahead and designed that, and with excruciating pain, I was able to get it to match the, and you wouldn't even notice it's different. Not the off-white coloring, but everything else, crystal perfect. This is the sharpness icon that I came up with. It's a triangle. I went for minimalist. Could I have come up with something more complex? Yes, but why? Why when you have a triangle, which is the epitome of something sharp? So you can go ahead and tap to edit this now, and you will be able to slide it. But Landon, I don't know what a triangle means, says the UI designer in the comments. What, it's not very obvious. You should have put a label underneath. Yes, I could have put a label underneath, but I didn't want to because it's not clean. That's not the Tesla way. I want people to figure it out. It's not the first thing you come to think of when you go into your settings anyway. I want to reduce the sharpness of my vehicle. Let them figure it out. And I think it's pretty obvious. It's a triangle. So after we did that, then what was the next step? The next step I had to basically figure out, once you've tapped the actual edit button, what happens next? Obviously with the brightness one, you can just edit it then and there, but with the editing of the sharpness, a lot more things have to happen. You probably want to preview what the car would look like when you edit the sharpness. You don't know to what extent it will just it will smoothen your vehicle. You probably also want to be told that this is like irreversible, some sort of like warning, like, hey, by the way, this is like extremely dangerous. No going back, dude. Like, insurance out the window, warranty out the window. You forget about it. Forget about it. No chance. So with all that in mind, I had to figure out, okay, well, what kind of dialogue or sort of prompt are we're gonna use here? So let me show you what I did. So what I'm about to show you is essentially the dialogue, the page where you can actually edit the sharpness plus the dialogue. And so as you can see, my splitting image of a Cybertruck up here, perfect depiction of it, and the arrow here depicting how you can drag you'll be able to drag the smoothness to your desired specification, request change. And you could also preview your Cybertruck. In this case, you can see I've probably gone a bit too far in how much I've wanted to show. What am I meant to use for that? Smoothen? Bezel? I don't know. How much I want to curve it. That's a better word, to curve it. And then, so from that, we hop to the next design, which is using Tesla's design system. We followed what I can imagine would be their design system for a title and a button, and that's pretty much it. So once you drag the bar down, you get a pretty clear indication of like what the new bezel, what the new corners or curves are going to look like on your vehicle. And once you tap request change, you're going to get a beautiful dialogue that says, are you sure, dude? No going back. Continue with the change. And the last but not least, we just need to like notify them, like, okay, what's going to happen now? Like, this is the question you guys have been always wondering. Like, you're wondering, Landon, but how did you actually sharpen the vehicle? What did you do? Well, not as a fictitious employee of Tesla, the way I would have done it is that I would essentially notify someone at Tesla, maybe the mechanic, some mechanics of sort. They would team together, they would get the request, and they'd come to your house at the crack of dawn, or maybe in the middle of the night, break into your garage silently, like, because they're ninjas obviously, and they would just file down the corners to your specifications. You wake up and you have your brand new vehicle. So you need to be notified that like someone's coming around, right? And that's kind of what I did here with a basic notification. Request for smoothing has been confirmed. Our team will come when you are not in your car and file the edges down to your requirements. Now, the UI designers in the comments are probably having a fit right now. You think this is straight? No, I don't, and it really does piss me off as well. But as I said, I've had to add it to the existing UI. So if you see, when it adds to the existing UI, it kind of looks normal because everything else is already bezeled. So no, I wouldn't do this by default. I would love something straight and 90 degrees, but I couldn't. Did not have the luxury this time, folks. So yeah, that's the design. But I didn't stop there. Of course, I wanted you to see what it would look like. We want to see a real prototype. Like what does it look like together? You always want to see what it looks like moving, and what are the moving parts? How does it look like together? So I went ahead and let's restart. You can go ahead and tap your display, and you're going to get your beautiful dialogue that will appear out of nowhere. Now, you can go ahead and edit the smoothness edit the sharpness by just tapping or like dragging on this display here. When you request change, you're going to get the dialogue that literally tells you, by the way, irreversible, are you sure? The best icon I could come up with was a hand, but there was nothing in my icon pack that would say stop, warning, and these are basic icons. I would have put a warning icon there for sure, but the hand was enough. I didn't want to go ahead and just slap an emoji there. I was very close to slapping an emoji in there, this close, but I didn't. I held myself back because you don't have to use emojis on everything, guys. You don't. Every app doesn't have to be an icon, like an emoji themed app, I promise you. You go back to the home screen once you've confirmed, and then you get your notification for the smoothing request, and the team will be with you shortly. So that's it. That is how I smoothed my Cybertruck. It was a really fun journey. My Cybertruck couldn't be happier, and I think the team at Tesla would be happy or screaming. They're probably praying for a feature like this existed. I understand that's probably not something Elon Musk would like. Well, frankly, we do what we want, and in this series we build features that no one asked for. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, please subscribe, or even better, comment below what other things you would like being added to apps that you've always wanted. And yeah, I'll be with you next time. Enjoy.